Yes, it's the Retro Bear, back once again in the gaming pantry. Hello everybody, thank you very much indeed for tuning in. Oh, hope you're all well. A bit of a wire problem. There we go, a bit of a wire problem to start the video off with. Anyway, yes, nice to have you back here once again for another pickups video. And this one's sort of devoted to a couple of boxes that were dropped off to me. Back at the end of February, do you remember in February we had this really lovely weekend where it was quite warm and felt as if it was spring was already here, and then it sort of like plummeted and we had high winds and storms the week after or something like that. Yeah, it was very warm, and we had a very warm weekend, and this is where some of this stuff has come from, which is brilliant. So we shall get to that. In the meantime, thank you very much indeed for your company and your time today. If it's your first visit here, I do hope you enjoy your stay. If you're back here once again, thank you very much indeed. Nice to see you once again. And you know what's coming, and it's going to be a massive box. Now, usually when I sort of take a massive box of tape stuff, which it is, it's all Spectrum stuff at the moment. Now, this has actually got some Commodore 64 stuff in it. In fact, I think most of it is Commodore 64 stuff. In fact, I'm pretty sure it is. It's been a couple of weeks since I've looked in these boxes, so I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure it is. So what we're going to do, we're going to do box one. We'll have a little bit of an interlude, and then we'll have box two. And that was all tied all together, hopefully, within 3 hours, which is great. Yes, so I've been very, very lucky again, once again, to have some stuff provided to me. A few weeks back, I picked up a box of loose Spectrum games. And this is where it's all sort of spilled from. My last video was some stuff from Feed Me Chicken, who very kindly sent me some Spectrum games after watching, I think, the very same video. After watching the very same video, Dane still got in contact with me, and he said, I've got loads of tapes, cut the box of tapes and games in my shed. He said, you're welcome to have. He said, I think they're all cover tapes. He said, but you might find something else in there. I've got no idea what's in there. If you want them, they're yours. So I said, lovely. I would very much like to take those off your hand. And he dropped them around one Saturday, which was this lovely sunny day. Dropped them at my doorstep, knocked the door, went back to his car, stood and had a conversation across the drive, which was great. Always it's good to meet people you've been watching on television for a long time. If you've been watching YouTube channels on your own television at home, people have a certain sort of, what's the word, flatness to them. So when you see people in real life, they're actually sort of like, they're sort of three-dimensional. It's rather different. So I always think it's funny when I meet people for the first time. I've met Dainster before, but just to see him again rather than a flat screen is really quite funny. So he then sort of said, oh, I couldn't find the other box. He said, I'll have a look for it, and he sent me a message on the following day, so I found it. So I'll try and drop it round either Sunday or Monday. So we dropped the second box round a couple of days afterwards. So we've got two boxes here, and it's all the sort of the same stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's just so many different things in here, and I have had to do a little bit of research myself to find out what some of this stuff is. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is going to be cover tapes. Now, I mentioned before in my last video, if you know what cover tapes are, years and years and years ago, computer magazines, specifically for single format, so if you Spectrum, Commodore and Amstrad would all have a magazine, or two magazines or three magazines. Occasionally they would give away a cover tape, and the cover tape would usually be demonstration, playable demos or rolling demos of games that were coming out, or if you were lucky they would put some free games on there. And a lot of good games were given away free across a period of time, more so towards the end of the machine's life. This also carried on when he went on to the Amiga Spectrum era, not the Amiga Spectrum, the Amiga ST era, where they would put a little disc on the front of it, the old sort of 3.5-inch floppy. And again, that would be full of utilities or games, playable demos, and occasionally they give you away public domain games or even free games. So, I know when we moved into sort of the Saturn and PlayStation 1 era, magazines again would give away demos or playable demos and things like that. So I used to pick up quite a few of the PlayStation 1 playable demo games. So this is where it all started. So, you would find you get demos of games, and more often than not you get free games on there. Most of the free games usually were pretty good. A lot of them repeated themselves. You might find there's some real sort of crossover on here. Now, I've been through some of these. I know for a fact that some of these games I've already got on the actual sort of full label release. But as I said before, it's always useful having a second copy of, just in case the original one doesn't work properly. Because you're never quite sure with these tape games. Even, as it was back at the day, when he first started doing them, to where they are now, it's always very, very tricky to work out whether or not a game is going to load. You have to do a lot of jiggery pokery with it. That's why some people hate it. Oh, I've got one of these. So I've got one of these here. I should have mentioned this as well. Pick up This is, you can see that there. This is the TZX Duino. I'll probably pronounce that completely wrong, yeah, but this is the sort of device where you can sort of load in. You've got a little sort of facility there to sort of play. You can actually load in sort of Spectrum and Amstrad games, and then just plug that into your, hook that up, plug it in, and play it. So got one of those. But I got one of Mrs. Bear's picked one of those at Wisdom, so I completely forgot we sat there. So I must dig that one out and have a proper good go at it and look at it. But I've got the Commodore plugged in at the moment, so maybe not quite much. So, but yeah, one of those devices. So people find it's much easier to play those sort of games that way rather than do it the old-fashioned way. I always say, if you're going to play retro games, you play retro games as retro games are meant to be played, the hard way. If it don't work, it don't work. Anybody ever read, and I don't think everybody did my my website I used to have years and years ago, I started doing a sort of a Commodore-a-thon. The idea was go through all the games in my Commodore collection, which I think lasted about 3 weeks, and then I went and did something else. And I was going to document each one I did, and you can see each one I did. There's like the tape didn't work, it didn't load, it got this far and stopped, or it started up, I pressed fire and it crashed. That's the pitfalls of these sort of games. So it's always, you know, you could sit there for 10 minutes. Back in the day, now 10 minutes, is it going to load? No idea, no guarantee whatsoever. So whether any of this stuff works or not, I don't know. It's going to be years before I get to test it. Actually, will I ever test it? I don't know. Hopefully some of it I'll play. Let's get going, shall we? Because we've got quite a lot of tapes in this box. It's a big box. Show you that size of that box there. It's a big enough, big old box, that one. Another box to my collection, which is ever growing. Right, so we'll just start and we'll just keep ploughing through these. So if I push that over there, and I'll move that over there. So I'm going to need all the space I can on this one. Oh dear. Sorry folks, I was up before I started. Right, okay, here we go. Right, so what have we got first? Now again, some of these tapes are a bit, of course they come from Dane's shed, so I don't know how long they've been in this shed. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know how long they've been in this shed either. So we've got a Zap Mega Tape 9 from 1990 with Star Race and Dickie's Diamonds. Don't think I've heard of either of those games. But that's the joy of having these coming in. Now this one here is a series called Real Action. Now I've read about this, and I think it wasn't Commodore format, or was it? Or was it Commodore Force? I don't know. It was one of those names anyway, and they did basically it was a magazine that came out to provide free games, which is great. So we've got all sorts on here. Loading guaranteed, it says, which is great. Was that guaranteed 30 years later? 1993. So you can see 1993. 1993, I'm about 2.5 years off buying a PC. Having had the Amiga for about 3.5 years by that point, I'm sort of moving into PC era, PC gaming, and also getting rid of the Amiga and getting the Mega Drive. So this is quite late in the 8-bit life to be ringing out this sort of thing. But someone's obviously seen a quick book, chance to make a quick book of the market. 4 games on here: C Command, the demo of Scepter of Baghdad, which sounds really interesting, and then Dan Dare and Easy Lives. So I'm not sure whether there may be 3 games on there, but again, I think there is a C64 wiki for it, and I think I had a look on there, and there's quite a lot of free games in that series. So we'll go. What have we got here? Zap Mega Tape 71. Wow. So that one, that can't be number 9. This is Zap Mega Tape 9, 1990. Zap Mega Tape 7, not 71, 7. I have got some of these, I think. 2 complete games. On this side, Oh No, and on the other side, Dominion. But again, you've got the classic Zap logo there, which is really, really good. Let's try not to dwell too much on these. Zap Mega Tape number 8. Galaxy Birds and Felix, 2 entire Mega games. There we go. So the magazine was, yeah, buy the magazine in those stand, I don't know, what, $2.99, something like that maybe. You know, if you're getting 2 games for under £3, it's better than actually buying them budget, because budget games used to be $1.99 back in the day, or $2.99 or whatever. This one's got half a box to it, but it's an actual classic. It's a bowling game. I love my bowling games, and this is on the Spectrum, and this is a 10th frame. So again, tape looks all right on that one, but it's half a box on that, so I'll have to try and make it. I said some of these are complete, some of these aren't. Now I bought this, keep bringing this game out. This is on the Amstrad. Now I showed this on my last video on the Spectrum. You might as well make this a Last Ninja 2. You see that there? Last Ninja 2 on the Amstrad. Wow. Yeah. So absolutely chuffed to have that one. Another great game. Very well known game. This one I've got absolutely no idea what this may be. It's a Sinclair user Mega Tape. It's got the word Typhoon written on it. So it's either going to be a game called Typhoon or possibly something to do with the former member of the natural disasters. I have absolutely no idea. Like I said, we are going into the realms of some of these here. This one, I didn't even know there was a second game in this. Again, Spectrum game. Codemasters Grand Prix 2. Now, I'm pretty sure I played Grand Prix Simulator on the Amiga initially. It's washed out here. It's got dark in here. So the more dark it gets in here, the more washed out it becomes. Far more brighter usually when the sun's on it. I don't know what's going on here. Another one in the tape. This is a Real Action number 28. And we've got one here. Leadstorm, Bionic Commando and Trantor. Now, that's interesting. Are they the full games or not? I don't know. Bionic Commando was out years before that, so that might be the full game on there. See, that's bones, because it would a really, really good conversion of that arcade game to the Commodore 64. Leadstorm's a bit of a dull racer, but that's some great music on the Amiga, because I had that. Right, let's keep going then. So we've got more Real Action. We have Real Action 2, Super Kong, Bullies Sporting Darts demo, Theseus and the Minotaur and Fruit Bank. Must be the most random selection of games ever. But Super Kong, so we've got, we've got a Donkey Kong variant on there. It's always good. Real Action 25, featuring Driller, Super Sprint and Easy Lives. Now again, Driller. Did anyone play Driller? That was one of the Freescape games. Super Sprint, top-down racer in the style of sort of Badlands or Iron Man Stewart, but going back to the early 80s, that was an old Atari arcade game, 3-player game. Never liked Super Sprint, never liked it much. Zap Megatape 18, C cassette inlay for details. That's going to be a bit tricky, so that's going to be a real random one to load up. But that's part of the fun of it. What's on these tapes, if it isn't listed? The fabulous Megatape 14, featuring Turrican 2 demo, Hero Botics, Chips Challenge demo, and Golf Master. So I think 2 demos, 2 full-price games. Or full releases anyway. So it's full-price games, probably not full-price games. Real Action number 8, HATE, Easy Lives, which is on one of those one already mentioned, Venom and Emergium Enigma. Again, a lot of these games I've never heard of before, which is why it's going to be a joy finding out what's on the tape. Dark Fusion and Dark Fusion Levels. Now I think I have Dark Fusion. I think that was a Gremlin game, Gremlin graphics game. I think I had the dual case release. I probably should have looked that up before I started doing this, but I wasn't quite sure I was doing this today. Overlander, Ground Snipe and Danger Adventure at Work on Real Action number 6. Interesting to see what's on there. What those are. Real Action number 27. Now Impossible Mission 2, Easy Lives again. Now I'm beginning to suspect here Easy Lives isn't a game. It may actually be some cheats or something like that. But also Beachhead 2. Now that's great, because I've got the original Beachhead game on the 64. So these are all these Real Action ones are Commodore 64 games, Commodore 64 tapes. So I'm really looking forward to playing that one as well. Beachhead 2. I remember playing the first one. Love that. Real Action number 24. Now here's a couple of classics from the old days. Aliens. Now I presume that would be the good version of it. And Zoids. Now I think the Spectrum version may be the best version of Zoids that there was, but I think this Zoids is generally likely to be a good game. Early 80s toy. When people talk about toys from years ago, they don't talk about Zoids. I've noticed that. Well, they don't seem to get a lot of conversation about them, but they were a very big thing, weren't they? Now, real action number 1, Lemmings demo, Gemini Wing, which I think was a shoot 'em up, could be wrong, and Continental Circus. Again, Commodore 64 cover tape. Now, 1992 would have been probably, again, after that come out. It's been out a couple of years. Continental Circus. I remember playing that at the Amiga in the arcade. Really, really good fun. Now, what have we got here? We've got some Magnum light phaser games. Now, if you go back to my last video, where Mr. Chicken sent me some tapes from his collection, or he found, I was suspected about some games being light gun games. Well, this has confirmed it to me, because what we've got here, we've got Robot Attack. This is their Magnum light gun, light phaser games. And on the other side of it, you've got Space Invader. Or was it, Solar Invader, sorry, Solar Invader. Now, both those games were on a tape which I can't quite reach from over there. But yeah, so that confirms it. Brilliant. Got those in here as well. So again, backups and backups. Bulldog and Blue Encounter. It says Easy Lives on there again, so I suspect that's some cheats. But yeah, Bulldog. Cool, I remember that game. That was it's quite an easy one to get hold of. Not difficult to find at all. Real Action 29. What a couple of classics here. World Games and 1943. Vertical scrolling shoot 'em up. Immensely difficult. Frustratingly annoying at the same time. Real Action number 7, Golf Master, which I think was on one of the earlier Zap games I've got. MC Gottifant, whatever that is. Critical Mass and Holiday Cups. It's difficult to know without the magazines whether some of these are actual games or music or whatever. I've absolutely no idea. That's going to be fun finding out in it. Now, Real Action 26, Super Hang-On and Levels. Wow. Have you ever seen Super Hang-On on the Commodore 64? Avert your eyes. It's terrible. It's a horrible conversion of the game. Horrible, I tell you. Real Action number 9, Artura and Football Manager. That's the original one, no, Kevin Tom's game, possibly. Wow. So some games here which any 8-bit aficionados will be recognising, I'm sure. Real Action number 18, Hacker. Not the New Zealand thing. I think Hacker, and there's Hacker 2 as well. It's got Easy Lives on it, so I suspect that's some more cheats or something. Real Action number 5. Saboteur 2 and Batty, which I think is meant to be, not meant to be, it is an Arkanoid clone, which again is Arkanoid with sort of an updated version of Breakout. And Batty is meant to be possibly even better than the home conversions of Arkanoid, I'm pretty sure to be. And then Shards of Innovar, which is always fun for a 5-minute blast, even though I've never heard of it. It sounds exciting, doesn't it? Shards of Innovar. DreamWorks Pictures presents the Shards of Innovar. Barbarian 2 and Barbarian 2 Levels on Real Action 19. The old one-on-one fighting game. Not quite sure what this one is because half the label's missing, but it's got Operation Wolf and Acceleron on it. So I guess that's probably a demo game, cassette, because it doesn't seem to be an awful lot of tape in there. And if I remember, the Operation Wolf certainly had 5 levels or something like that, so I think it's quite enough in there. Maybe not, I don't know. I could be pretty wrong. Real Action 21, Star Paws and Nosferatu. It's going to be a Dracula game, I'm pretty sure of it. Star Paws I've already got. Now in here was, I said, amongst all this was actually an audio tape. Not his, what was he actually, I can't remember now. I think he said if they're my, oh yeah, it's not your Apache Indian collection, mate. He mentioned, I said I found in here an audio tape, and he said unless it's my Apache Indian tape, I don't want it back. So what it is, I've had a quick look at this. This is based on a TV, it's an episode of the TV cartoon series. And it's actually an audio book, or an audio recording of, I don't know. This is The Real Ghostbusters Adventures in Slime and Space. And that actually is, I think it may be from the second series, the cartoon series. But it's a 2-sided audio tape. I haven't played it yet. I must do that, actually. It's not a game. Not a game. I thought it might be the Real Ghostbusters game, but it's not. What have we got in here? Another spectacular Zap Megatape, but unfortunately the writing's rubbed off on that one, so I've got absolutely no idea what it is. Number 13. Can't even speculate on what that may be. Like I said, that's part of the fun. You load it up and have a go at it. Spectrum game, Soccer Rivals, which I know nothing about. Trying to see the developer name on that. It's Art Games. Don't know. I suspect it's possibly a very early football management game, which means it can be really, really clunky and horrible. But anyway, we've got this other light phaser gun game, double pack, Rookie on the one side, and Missile Ground Zero on the other. So I have two versions of this now. But like I said, if one doesn't work, this one may do. This one and that one don't work, then I'm pretty sure you've covered all the possibilities. Another Spectrum game. It's full release game from Melbourne House, and most people remember this one, The Way of the Exploding Fist. Used to love that game. Wasn't so keen on Fist 2, I've got to be honest with you, but Way of the Exploding Fist, yeah, not bad. And then the final one of those like Magnum-like games, Bullseye on the one, and Operation Wolf on the other. There we go. So I have a version of that and a backup version of that now. It's always best to have those. We've got another Real Action tape here. Real Action 23. Emotion, do you remember that one? Wow. My dad used to play that on the Amiga. Emotion, by Jove, and a demo of Mayhem. There we go. But Emotion was sort of designed like an Einstein type character on the front. Real Action number 4. What have we got on this one? Theseus and the Minotaur Part 2. So I've got Part 1, so that's good. Oh dear me. Snowball Sunday, Magic Rufus demo, and Relax. I know, was that Frankie Goes to Hollywood song on the end, possibly? I don't know where these things come from. Man, it's the stuff they were giving away. Real Action number 3. Someone's actually written down the tape times on them as well, which is quite good on this one. So you know roughly where things should load. First Strike and Monsters, and then Dual Cassette 2 and Easy Lives again. So I'll check out Easy Lives is going to be sort of cheats, isn't it? It's got to be cheats. Not for resale. This is on, I'm guessing the Spectrum. It says, no, I'm guessing it's Spectrum. I think it might be one of those original games that came out for it that everyone seems to think is really rare, but there's like billions of copies of them. It's sort of like Survival and the other one, Make a Chip. Alien Destroyer, which I'm not sure I've got or not. So it reminds me I do need to update my games list again for all this stuff I've picked up, because I've absolutely no idea. A Frenetic Megatape 15, which has got everything rubbed off on it. They may not even be on there. There may be other stuff on here, I don't know. Possibly not. Another Real Action tape, Ghostbusters, yeah, another bloody copy of Ghostbusters. There we go, game which follows me everywhere. I got a black box with a really sort of like strange cover. You see that cover on it? Now I picked up a game from Side Ginger Be Gaming a few weeks back. It was called Blast, I think it was, and it had like a sort of sparkly cover behind one of these. I don't know where to go with that one or not, I don't know. But that might have had the Apache Indian tape in it. Megatape, Zap Megatape 17, Quake -1, and Slayer. Three tapes to go in this box here. Another Real Action one, number 17. The Blues Brothers and Guadalcanal. Wow, the Blues Brothers, what a great arcade game, arcade platforming game that was. I think I've got that. Mate, I think he gave it to me before we went to Australia. Tunnel Vision, Rolling, Hacker 2 and Connect 4 on another Zap Megatape. Rudolph's Megatape. That would have been Christmas 1990. Hey, Christmas 1990. Do you remember that? 30 years ago. And then finally we finish on a classic. The Hobbit on the Spectrum. There we go. So all of them are out of data shed. That's box 1. There is box 2 to come, but first let's have a word from our sponsor.
Welcome back everyone to the old Game Zone Bird Room. Through this door though, I'm working on the new Game Zone Bird Room. So should we have a sneak peek? Game Zone! So here we go, a sneak peek of the new Game Zone Bird Room. And that's all you're getting. Game Zone!
Right, back from that commercial break. Thank you very much for sticking with us. And we have a second box from Dainster. We go through, again, the same way we had it before this came out the shed. And it's arrived, I think this arrived a couple of days after the first one did. This is the one he went back for. And it's more of the same, folks, more of the same. There's more tapes in here than, well, there's more tapes in here than you care to imagine. Which is great if you love that sort of thing. If you don't, then you're not. But anyway, again, same proviso arrived, came and said there's a load of stuff in here, it can be any good to you, I don't know. So I thought, oh great, I'll have a go through it. Again, a lot of cover tapes in here, but there are some like in that other one, some original games. It's also half a box as well, which may be to do with 10th Frame, which we showed earlier. Anyway, let's go through these and see what we've got. Again, quite a decent amount in here. Right, what have we got? We've got a Sinclair user free tape. I have no idea what this is. It says the Great 8. It says News? Mega disc tape to disc, printy and tips. And on this side, Flying Shark, Heartland and loading tips with Pokemania. I spelled Pokemania wrong as well. Can you see that there? Pokemania. There we go. Putting typos on tapes. No idea what that is. This one is a game, an Elite tape exclusive with your Sinclair. We mentioned it in the last one, but I think it was a Commodore 64 one. So this is the Spectrum version of Batty with free sellotape on it. Another of the Great 8 games. We've got Tarantula, Pieces of 8, Street Cred, Page System, Instant Recall, Cash Book. So these are sort of utilities. Pokemania spelt right this time. Let's see that. Yeah, here we go. Focuses. On the other side, you've got Emlyn Hughes' arcade quiz. Now, Emlyn Hughes' football was a big game when I was a kid. That may have been trying to cash in on the old Mike Reed's pop quiz popularity, because you can't beat Mike Reed's pop quiz. The Amstrad, this is an Amstrad one here, the Amstrad Action Birthday Gift Pack. On this side, you've got Dizzy. There you go, Dave. This is the Amstrad, so you'll even be less interested in this version of it. And on the other side, you've got Microassembler, Smart 2, Disk Help, and On Disk. And it does say that, which is really interesting. Includes routine to autosave all these programs to disk. Yeah, that's really interesting. But yeah, but you got Dizzy. That's what I've got, the Dizzy version, the Amstrad version of Dizzy. Fantastic. If it works, we won't know. Another Your Sinclair tape. This is on this side the full playable, full price game Orbix the Terrorball and Rambo 3, and then on the other side you've got the Rex Mad Mix. I'm just reading stuff out off the text. I've got no idea what any of that meant apart from Rambo 3. Another Your Sinclair tape, Movie, a complete game from Ocean, and on the other side you've got Tomcat playable demo and Shanghai Warriors rolling demo. Yeah, so again, something they never heard of before, never seen before. Thing Players complete games. I'm guessing that's going to be a budget game, and then Riding the Rapids, which is also a players complete game. And on the other side, this is Heroes of Khan, and the Interceptor complete graphic adventure. And this is a Smash tape. Interesting, that one. Yeah. Oh no, your Sinclair also. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It's a Spectrum tape anyway. A lot of Spectrum stuff in here. The Commodore 64 Spectrum, and the other one we now got sort of Spectrum and Amstrad in this one. Moldy Christmas. Now this was an exclusive Your Sinclair cover take through glimmering graphics of a Monty Mole game based around Christmas. Moley Christmas. What a fun idea that was. 1988. Monty Mole was one of the big stars of early computer 8-bit games. They tried to revive it with, Impossible in the 90s, which didn't quite work. Some people loved it, some people didn't. The skateboard construction kit, which is probably going straight in the bin. And on the other side, Buffalo Bill's Rodeo Games, which is a playable demo. It came from Tynesoft, and they didn't have the greatest reputation for good games. And also on here we got Davy Wilson Sings. He may be something to do with whoever made this magazine. I don't know. Could be relaunching his singing career as we speak. Possibly not. Now this came free with Ace. Now I thought Ace was a 16-bit magazine, but I'm probably wrong. Because it's advanced computer entertainment. Instead of scoring things out of 100, they score things out of 1,000 just to be different. But this is here. This here. And of course, if you're a Commodore 64 or Spectrum user, this would be of interest to you. Not an Amstrad, because they obviously aren't 3 sides to a tape. But they put on one side a Commodore 64 game, on the other side a Spectrum game. So you would buy one or the other. Now, of course, they haven't got both systems. It's quite convenient. So on one side, we've got Blue Max for the Commodore 64. And the other side, we've got Gifts from the God. One US Gold game, one Ocean game. I'd never seen that tape before. I didn't know Ace gave away tapes. Strange. This one also given away by Ace as well, and this is the US version of Aliens. I mentioned that on the Commodore 64. This is Spectrum and Commodore 64 version. I think I've got both of them. I've got the Spectrum one certainly, but I'm pretty sure I've got the 64 one as well. Very, very common game to pick up, that one. I've got this one. It follows me. It's beginning. It's like Ghostbusters. I'm beginning to get more and more copies of this now. Ollie and Lissa on the Spectrum, for which I'm reliably 1 and 2 are quite easy to pick up. 3 is an absolute bitch to find. I find lots of 1s. I not find all 3. Oh Mummy, which I know some people would have played years and years ago on the Spectrum. One of the games they gave away. I think came with the pack-in games possibly, with Disco Dan and Golf or something like that. Also another copy of Moley Christmas if anybody wants one on the Spectrum. I'm pretty sure there's some people out there who may want to tape at this. If you do, get in touch. Moley Christmas. This one, Samurai, the complete game. This is another Your Sinclair tape. And then on the other side, we've got Scramble Spirits, a demo mode only. Scramble Spirits is the game I've desperately got to try and get hold of a copy of. On any format. I've been trying to get hold of the Master System one, but people keep getting it as snips. Is that Dead Spider in there, possibly? No, I don't think so. 5 complete levels for the Commodore 64 and on the other side the Spectrum. So this isn't the full game. But this is an interesting one. I know some people do quite like this game. It's might be a bit of a curiosity, I don't know. So 5 levels on one type for the Commodore 64, 5 levels on the other side for the Spectrum, from Ace Issue 2, and this is Bubble Bobble. Like I said, not the full game, just 5 playable levels, which, to be honest with you, it's not going to be an awful lot, is it? But, yeah, classic game. Now, this one, I'm thrilled. This came with CMVG. I didn't know CMVG gave away games with their magazines. But this one is Commodore 64 one side, Spectrum the other. I think I've probably got both of these, but this is Thundercats. Ho! Yeah. I couldn't get into Thundercats. Sorry, folks. I know a lot of people did, but I couldn't. Treasure Island, which is one of the Spectrum early giveaway titles. That's why there's loads of them online. Now, you may remember my last video when I was given a game by Retro Ed, and he sent me this game which I'd been after for a very, very long time. On the same day that arrived, which is Roadrunner on the Spectrum, I got this box of stuff from Dainster. And I got a copy of Roadrunner in it as well. So I have 2 copies of Roadrunner now. Like I said, that's no bad thing at all. I don't mind that. But yeah, I've been waiting to get this game for so long on one format to own it. that I have within my collection, and now on the same day, after years and years of waiting, I'll get 2 copies of the same game for the same format in a completely different boxes from 2 different people. You couldn't write it, could you? More Your Sinclair demo free tape goodness, Zolix and the Gordello incident. Again, sorry folks, no idea what any of those are. We've got the complete game. Now, this will make Retro Red Steve's ears prick up a bit. On one side we've got the game, and on the other side we've got the levels. And this is a smash tape, so this is going to be Crash game. Crash magazine, sorry. And this is Wonder Boy. Now, I don't think I've got Wonder Boy on the Spectrum. Got it on the Commodore 64 because there is some playable footage on my channel from years ago. What have we got here? Some the Sinclair User 6 the best. We've got the Robocop 128K demo only, Piggy Punks and Pokes. I'm not sure if Piggy Punks was the game. I don't know. And then Draconus, Trantor and Stardust on the other side. 4 games. So 6 the best for Sinclair User. There we go. Not a lot to see there, is there really? Just me sort of reading out front covers of games. The Ocean Easter present for Your Sinclair magazine was Road Race. There we go. So that one is there as well. Another Spectrum game, and this is one I've not heard of before. Really, really old game, 1984, 1983. This is Aegean Voyage. Never heard of that one at all. Anybody knows anything about that, Spectrumites, please do let me know. And those are all the boxed ones anyway. The rest of these now are all loose. So I'm just going to whiz through these quickly as possible if I can work out what this is. Side A, Amorote. Side B, Daley Thompson's Olympic Challenge 88. Sinclair User magazine. Not sure if Daley Thompson's game is a playable demo. I'm guessing probably given the age of that, probably it may have been. Amorote may have been a full game. Screen Heroes from Ocean. Now here's a couple of real old titles on here. Street Hawk. Remember Street Hawk? The TV series about the bloke with a bike. Super Test. And then the other classic TV series, Knight Rider and Miami Vice. So we've got games of those. I don't think I've got a copy of Miami Vice at all. But yes, Screen Heroes from Ocean, Tape 1. I don't think Tape 2 was in here. If we do find it, we'll find it from there. Now, in my last video, Danes sort of left me a, what did he leave me? Not my last video, earlier on he left me an audio tape, didn't he? He left me another one in this box as well, read by none other than Manuel from Fawlty Towers, the very late and much missed Andrew Sachs. Something called Secret Army Supplies from Rainbow Toys, an adventure called Explosion in the Jungle. There's an audio tape, there's 2 audio tapes there. Again, not the Apache ending he wanted. But yeah, unbelievable. Great stuff. We've got Quattro Skills compilation, so a Codemasters compilation, Pro Skateboard Simulator, International Rugby Simulator, which again, a game I played years and years ago, and on the other side, 11-a-side Soccer and Pro Tennis Simulator, which may have been the precursor to the old Pete Sampras series on the Mega Drive. Sinclair User 6 are the best. We've got Gaza 2, Dan and Wizard, and Guts, Bedlam, and probably some Captain Poke cheats on the other side as well. Gaza 2. Why was there a Gaza 2? Gaza 1 was bad enough, we didn't need Gaza 2. We've shown this one already. There's another copy of this one, which is Movie from Ocean. And on the other side we've got Tomcat and Shanghai Warriors. So again, free tape there if anybody wants one. We've got here Beachhead 1 and 2. Wow. And then on the other side we've got Circus from Martech. That's there's a demonstration on the other side, but Beachhead 1 and Beachhead 2, brilliant. I haven't got either of those on the Spectrum, but on the Commodore 64. And there's another copy of that as well, so if anybody wants one of those, I can send you one. You too can play Beachhead 1 and 2. Play for Your Life, exclusive Imagine game with Your Sinclair. Never heard of it. Great. It's what we like. We like mysteries. We like things like this. Electro Bingo 2 And Jewels of Babylon. On the other side, we've got Denizen and Dizzy Dice. 4 games for the price of none. I think if you paid any money for any of those games, you might be disappointed. And some sellotape, free sellotape as well. It's a bit of a state, that one, but there we go. One side we got Zarjas Mega Game, an exclusive demo of 19. This is another Sinclair user tape. Mega Tape 1. With a bear. There's a bear there. There's a bear playing karate. There you go. Long lost relative. Karate bear. The Crash Sampler. And someone's written on here what they may be. We've got Mean Streak, Driller, and Basil. Basil? I'm not sure that's Basil Great Mouse Detective or not, I don't know. And on the other side we've got Athena, and then something I can't actually read. So I'm not quite sure what's on that one. But there we go. The Crash Sampler. Like I said, it'll be fun finding out what's in here. Your Sinclair 4-pack number 2 includes Rugby on one side and Empire on the other. And then Pool and Piggy Tails. Return of the Pokes on one side, and then not an unplayable demo, a playable demo of the Untouchables. Or an untouchable playable demo of the Untouchables, I don't know. Game from Mad, and probably one of the most common games you could find anywhere for any 8-bit system, 180 darts. Just about to see there, possibly, I don't know. Yeah. You've got an 8-bit system, you're going to own a copy of darts. Another copy of Road Race, not quite as nice as the one I had before, the Easter present from Ocean. Another copy of the Crash Sampler as well. So a couple of these duplicates here, so if anybody's interested in any of these sort of ones here, make a note, write them down and get in contact with me. Amstrad CPC 464 Christmas cassette. No idea what's on side A, and there's some utilities on side B. Damn, we'll never know until I get an Amstrad. We may find one day. Crash Presents January 1991, Tape 2. Okay. No idea what's on it. Oh, we could do an entire series like this. Now, this is really good. This is the budget re-release of this game. I think I've got this now. I may have picked up in a trade with Cy, Ginger Hippie Gaming. It's Double Dragon 2 on the Amstrad. And I think one of the games I traded the Game Gear stuff with Cy for, I've got the boxed version of that now, the proper sort of full release. Another one which I showed right at the very, very start of going through this box was Batty, the Arkanoid clone. So another copy of that. What have we got here? Exclusive game written for your Sinclair, Quarks, and a playable demo of Skate or Die. For the Spectrum. This is double decker tape. I think I've got possibly the tape that I'm missing out of here. So what we got here? More Spectrum game. Dustin. And then Cybernoid 2 playable demo. Cybernoid 2 has some of the best music on the Commodore 64. It really does. Ah, lovely. Action pack for the Amstrad Action. Biggles and a Amstrad Action toolbox. Biggles. Based on a film, which nobody remembers because it was terrible. Does anybody remember Biggles now? More your Sinclair stuff, I think. We've got Star Raiders 2. And what I'm really excited to get on the other side, Afterburner arcade soundtrack. And it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's worth it just having it. I don't care about Star Raiders 2. Just having the arcade soundtrack for the Afterburner there. Oh, shit. Sugar. Sorry. Am I still on? Yes, that's right. That's my... Oh, man. Need to put that somewhere safe. We've got Finders, Keepers and Spellbound. And on the other side, we've got Nighttime and Techno Cop. Your Sinclair cover tape. Sorry, there's not focusing, but I have no patience today. And I'm aware you have other things to do, so I'm just going to be quick as I can on this. 3 to go. Commodore 64 game, Super Rider, which I don't know. Another Your Sinclair tape, Sweevo's World, Shadow of the Beast, possibly a demo, I don't know. And on the other side, we've got Crackout and Shockwave Rider. So there's Crackout and Shockwave Rider. There's the other side. I think Sweevo's World had sort of like a Stan Laurel type character on the front cover. Anyone know who Stan Laurel is nowadays? Probably not. And then finally, the very last one in there, the Crash 1991 April tape. Which again, I've got no idea what there is because there's nothing with it. And that's it. It's going to be an awful lot of fun finding out what's on those tapes, isn't it? I mean, some of them stuff we know what's on there, some of them we don't. So it's going to be a complete sort of stab in the dark. But I love stuff like that. And, you know, I'll probably see why it's also been sitting in Dane's shed for a very, very long time. It's not the sort of stuff that people want, but you can go on to eBay and look, and there are so many people selling those cover tapes. And they're not overly expensive to buy. Some people are asking stupid prices for them. And tell them asking stupid prices for it because there's no need for it. You know, I've seen sort of like Commodore format and, you know, collections and whatever. You can pick them up for a tenner. Dirt cheap to pick up. And there are some free games on there as well, which is good. Some games you may not get in your collections. And don't forget, there's thousands of games for the 8-bit systems. Thousands of games. So, you know, all playable demos of games you may not have got or incredibly difficult to get hold of. I don't know. But I think there's a lot of good stuff in there. And those are from a time which is completely different to now. You know, you can't do that nowadays. Okay, you can release demos onto the PlayStation Store or whatever. I know something that bought on the PS3 in the past, but you know, this is what we had to happen back in the day. This was the sort of, you know, you got the magazines coming out. Now what's, you know, then we had budget games coming out for these systems. What's the next step? And they're trying to give them away or give away demonstrate. How can we put our games out there and market them to people? We can make demos of them. And that's where that comes into it. And that's how people used to get their product out to the market. So people would have sort of buy Crash, or they'd buy Zap 64 or Amstrad Action or Commodore format, Amiga format, ST Action. They'd buy all those magazines. And there'll be a disc or a tape on the front, and you take it home. Oh, I really want to play. Oh, playable demo of this game. Great. And you go home and play it, and you think, yeah, this is really good, or I don't like this at all. I really don't like this. I'm not going to buy it. And that was how you make it. And that was a way of getting marketing out there. So it's really, really interesting to see how things have changed. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling now. Thank you very much indeed for watching. That was a big haul, but yeah, thanks to Dane still once again for taking the time to find those and drop them around to my house. I love that. There's some really good stuff in there as well. So I'm going to enjoy perusing through that in more detail at some point in the very near future. Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you have enjoyed this, there's a thing there. I'll sort of there-ish, I don't know. Never get it quite right, but it'll tell you what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell. All that sort of stuff has been brilliant. If you have been here for the first time, it'd be great to hear from you. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, don't forget to leave me a comment. That'd be fantastic. Until we see you again, this is the Retro Bear saying thanks very much indeed for watching. Take care, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.